Amerish is a very nice place for TR, especially prowlers. It has many hills, many choke points. I want to say it's a continent that's designed for just prowling, for camping up on top of a hill or somewhere kind of far away and sniping. And there are many spots that I could show you. Some of them are really obvious, some of them aren't. Some of them are kind of small, significant. So I'm only going to show like a few that I personally think are really good. There are, however, a couple bases that there should be no fucking reason why we should be there. And there are 3 bases that there's absolutely no reason why we should be there because it doesn't fit. It's not made for armor. We are at such a huge disadvantage. And the 3 bases are Rockside Outlook, the Ascent, and Liftcourt Central. These 3 bases right here. So let's start off with one base that we constantly fight at a lot. And that is Araxis Firearms Corp, which is right here on the map. So we generally attack, and this is usually what happens. We follow the main road, and then we get stuck at the bridge, which that's the whole point of this base. Is that bridge is meant to stop armor. Generally what happens is, if we're attacking from this base over here, we'll go down to the road and we'll go up this one. That's what the randoms do. What we should do is we should go under the bridge and then loop around to here. Because very few people do this. Very few people actually go around and then come up this way. Because usually what happens is there'll be a massive enemy armor column here, and it will be attacking all the randoms that are over here in this spot. Now, of course, that's not always the case. Sometimes they'll just tank mine this entire bridge and there's nothing we can do about it. Well, there's still one more spot, and I will show you it. Oh yeah, a little side note, if we are defending this bridge and there's a massive enemy armor column over there, we can just drop off the edge. Like this. It's a little risky, but you might not blow up, and you can just attack the enemy. It's a little nice something to know. Alright, so if we're ever attacking Araxis Firearms Corps, this is another amazing spot to be at. This is Raven's Landing, which is one base behind. So pretty much, we just post up right here, and we have pretty much a perfect view inside, so we can attack their armor that's getting pulled. Because right there, I believe, is their vehicle terminal. And we can just snipe them if they're all the way back here, and let the randoms go onto the bridge. It's a nice spot to know, but we have to be fast if we're going to get here, because at any moment that bridge battle can change. So, we're at Amerish, Sungray, Westgate, and I'm mainly going to be talking about this base and NC Arsenal. So let's just say we've taken NC Arsenal, and we begin to assault the Westgate base right there. Well, pretty much a good spot. It's just right over here. Just right here. get a prowler or two right here, and it's a pretty decent spot. We can bombard it for a while until they get pushed back and the red coats are moving on up. The slight of disadvantage is that tree. That tree, somebody could see four Sharius, but as long as we have a Spitfire turret or two, it should be fine. And that's pretty much it. Now, a Mag Rider can very easily go up this hill. You can very easily go up this hill. Prowlers, Vanguards, nothing can go up here except Mag Riders. They can very easily just go up here, do some bullshit, and boom, they're right behind us. So that's why if we know we're going against the DS, we might want to tank mine this little choke point right here. If we are going to be here for quite some time. If not, that's about it. I'm at Heiyoko Chemical Lab, and it's a very interesting base because it has those bridges. And normally we'd have to wait for our red coats to get across if we're armor, but there's actually a way to get across without having to wait for all that. And it works for Sunderers. Anyway, there's a nice little workaround to get across. You might need the first level of Racer Rival Chassis, maybe 2. And Sunderers and Prowlers, Vanguards can get across, and it's right here. And as you can see, I'm across. It is a tad bit risky. It works 75% of the time. As you can see, there's the death lake, or whatever you want to call it, the sewage. And right here is that little pathway. Once you get across that little pathway, you pretty much have to have a game plan. You have to know exactly where you're going to go. And it's pretty much, we can overlook them completely. They'll be distracted on us pretty much, while our infantry can go in and take care of the bridges and other things. So this is pretty much like a suicide run. But we have a perfect view of the vehicle terminal, and it's a pretty nice little thing. Not many people know about it. But like I've said, Vanguards, Harassers, Sunderers, Mag Riders can very easily get across, Prowlers can. And we're at the Bastion now. The amazing circle jerk, the Bastion. The Bastion's a very nice base. It only has a couple interesting spots. Let's start off with, if we're defending the Bastion, we know there's a Zerg coming, like that Mag Rider. So let's say the enemy are coming from the waypoint. The best spot to post up is probably right over here, near all the rocks. So right here is a very good spot. And usually we defend the Bastion right here, which is nice, but that's too far away, and that leaves the enemy a lot of room to maneuver around us. Say they can just go from here, then right here, and they can just flank us, which is what they do a lot. However, right here, it's a pretty nice spot. We can put our prowlers up right here. If they start taking damage, they can just back up. For the most part, we're not going to get C-Forged Fairy that easily, as we can see him coming. Still, we want to put up Spitfire turrets. The reason why this spot is effective is because right there is a little choke point. They have to come either through that main road or right there. They have to. They just have to. Unless they want to go a freaking around all this. They have to go around all this crap if they want to flank us. do want to be careful though, because harassers can get through, and they will go through the forest, which is right here. It's very bumpy, lots of trees to protect them. But if we know there's a massive Zerg coming from this base, then we can just post up right over here by the rocks. Now, the Bastion has a nice little hole that harassers can go through. You do want to be careful though, because sometimes the enemy will tank mine right here. I do it, I've seen people do it. They will tank mine this, so you have to watch out. So let's just say we're right here on this side of the Bastion, on this side of the wall, and we want to get over here. Instead of trying to cut through right here, which is a very bad idea because you will die every single time, our harassers can just do this pretty much, and they'll fit right through it. And just like that, they're on the other side. Alright, so here's a spot I found just dicking around pretty much. And it's quite a good spot if, say, we're defending the Bastion and that little rock choke point I showed you isn't quite good enough, or they're kind of too far in here. But let's say they're still like trailing behind here, or like we know they're assaulting from this base. So what we do is we're going to be doing some rock climbing. And this is a vanilla Sunday, so even if you don't have racer or rival chassis, you can still make it up here. And if you look at the mini-map and also look at the ground, it's kind of like they designed the path to go up here. So you can see the ground kind of looks like, and the way it's made kind of looks like they want you to do this, which is pretty cool. So you just keep on going up. And then once you reach up here, then it starts becoming a bit hill climby. You can see it's very bumpy, but it's quite worth it. The payout is very worth it. So, you get a couple prowlers up here, gatekeeper harassers, and look at that. Perfect view of this entire road. And then if you want to be ballsy, of course you can always rush down there and charge them. But it's a pretty nice little spot. Okay, so now I'm at the Bastion area, and I'm going to see if I can try to get over, using the rocks to get over here. So, we just go up the nice little man-made path here that Daybreak has made for us. Daybreak always looking out for us, as always. And then we go over here. Do some of this. Make a sudden stop. And do some maneuvering, L turns and whatnot. Till finally we get, oh my god, come on, yes. And as you can see, it's a nice little pathway down to the Bastion. No? I think that's gonna kill me if I go down there. No, I lived. Although I don't think prowlers can fit through that. But at least Sunders can. Alright. So, I believe Prowlers can make it up there. But I'm not 100% sure. I haven't been able to get a Prowler over here to test it. But Thunders definitely can make it up here. As I will show, at least try to. As long as whatever's shooting me doesn't kill me. As you can see, a Vanilla Sunday can make it up here. Alright, well, I believe there is a way for Prowlers to get up here on this side, and it's to pretty much take this hill right here, and then to fit through here. Because after looking at it a bit closer, it does look wide enough for a Prowler to fit through. But on this side, I just think that hill might be too steep. But if a Sunderer can make it up, I'm sure a Prowler can, especially a vanilla Sunderer of no rival racer chassis whatsoever. But I haven't been able to test it because every time I've gone to the Bastion, it's been a big clusterfuck. You can also use a Sunderer and make it up here. It's a bit tricky though, and you really need to have it a maxed out chassis in order to do it. Or if you take the pathway right here, and then go over here, and then just follow that. That's pretty much it. Bye bye.